mid-July, the year that I was 10. That summer dusk glowed red in Texas skies. Day and night the hot wind blowed, but what I remember most was a look I can't forget in Daddy's eyes. He said the yellow coat's our first one, and I know 2 long years we both have watched him grow. But the pastures all have died and McClellan creeks run dry, and son, I've got to sell Bandito Gold. Bandito Gold, think of all the mighty rivers we've crossed and all the mountains we've climbed. Bandito Gold, think of all the outlaw bands that we've captured single-handed in our mind. Thank the Lord that spring we got the rain, with thunderstorms and buckets full it came. Then the prairie flowers bloomed and McClellan Creek ran full, and the pastures turned a brilliant Kelly green. Then the 1st of May our old mare Dixie foaled, 4 white socks, a pretty yellow coat. With pride we watched him grow until now he's 10 years old, but he never can replace Bandito Gold. Bandito Gold, think of all the mighty rivers we've crossed and all the mountains we've climbed. Bandito Gold, think of all the outlaw bands that we've captured single-handed in our mind. It's my turn to ride, my horse is in chute 5, and I've checked the rein and pulled my saddle tight. Way out in Idaho with the Twin Falls Rodeo, I've drawed the outlaw horse, Bandito Gold. Bandito Gold, think of all the mighty rivers we've crossed and all the mountains we've climbed. Bandito Gold, think of all the outlaw bands that we've captured single-handed in our mind. Bandito Gold, think of all the mighty rivers we've crossed and all the mountains we've climbed. Bandito Gold, think of all the outlaw bands that we've captured single-handed in our mind.
You can see by the clothes that he's wearing that he's a bronc rider by trade. Pockets full of dirt, snap buttons on his shirt, and his split-down boots are Tony Lama made. Greenbacks are the ante up on the entry fee, and he's worn a lot of leather off the tree. Saddle up on a saddle bronc ride, kicking hulls up in the sky. Sunfish stand a suck back to the right. You can't get no higher than a bucking horse rider, with his hand on a hack rein and buckles on his mind. Bareback and saddle bronc drawing, marking out. The Canadas are headed north, the buckaroos headed south. 49, it ain't no line for those who plow the trade. Like devil's rope and barbed wire, the two they are the same. There's a silence behind the chutes that only he can hear, with the horsehair and the leather when all his thoughts are clear. And a long road and a short go, never twice the same. He rode all the rank ones with his spurs up in the mane. Saddle up on a saddle bronc ride, kicking hulls up in the sky. Sunfish stand a suck back to the right. You can't get no higher than a bucking horse rider, with his hand on a hack rein and buckles on his mind. bucking on the fence line and a coyote on the plains. Big cats up on the timberline, diamondbacks in the sage. And the years and the miles and the wind carved the lines upon his face. And there's a hand-laid bucking or saddle in the Cowboys Hall of Fame. Saddle up on a saddle bronc ride, kicking hose up in the sky. Sunfish standing sucked back to the right. You can't get no higher than a bucking horse rider with his hand on a hack rein and buckles on his mind. With his spurs in the mane and buckles on his mind.
Well, you heard that story, the hot rod Lincoln. Some kid driving his daddy to drinking. That story's true, I wouldn't lie, 'cause I'm a daddy in the caddy that passed him by. Now I got the car from my pappy's paw. It's a Cadillac sedan, long and tall. Need a little work, but I was shipped overseas. When I come home, she's waiting on me. I put a V12 motor in a 41 Fleetwood, fit a little tight, sure run good. Beefed up the springs, took out the spares, split set of gears that'll part your hair. Yeah, the paint's a little faded, looking like a sleeper. Maybe something driven by a Baptist preacher. Tailpipe's quiet as pulling the cork. That V12 motor ain't nothing but torque. Well, I was hauling moonshine on a cloudless night. I left her back, sitting outside Grapevine. I got a Bakersfield baby waiting on me. Come tomorrow morning, that's where I'll be. So I eased her on the highway and pointed her home. If you run double nickels, law leaves you alone. I seen headlights coming up from behind, then a Ford and a Mercury come winging by. I watched them tearing up the road. Then in the mirror, what looked like a ghost is a Model A, like a hawk in flight, gaining ground on them other two guys. I had to find out where they was going so fast. This daddy and the caddy don't like to be passed, so I dropped the hammer, give her the reins, slid on over to the passing lane. There we go. Well, that Model A took the Merc and the Ford, so did I, but I wanted more. Y'all know the end of that song. I had one more gear I was waiting on. I passed them boys at the top of the hill, quick as lightning from my grandpa's steel. I pumped the clutch, stabbed her in fifth. That road opened up like a birthday gift. Now I know it wasn't my race to be run, but I was just having a little fun. In the mirror's a ball of smoke and flames and gaining on me.